Right now, the world is facing the largest debt crisis in human history. Never before have governments, corporations, and ordinary people owed this much money at the same time. Global debt has passed $300 trillion, a number so large it is almost impossible to imagine. But this crisis did not happen overnight. So how did the world get here? And more importantly, what happens when the world can no longer pay? Global debt is the total amount of money borrowed by countries, companies, and individuals across the planet. It includes government bonds, corporate loans, home mortgages, and consumer credit. In simple terms, debt is money taken from the future and spent today. In the past, debt was a tool for growth. Countries borrowed to build roads, factories, schools, and hospitals. Debt helped economies expand, productivity rise, and living standards improve. But today, debt is no longer just about growth. For many nations, borrowing is no longer a choice. It is a necessity for survival. To subsidize food and energy, to keep their economies from collapsing. The world has quietly become addicted to debt. As of today, global debt has exceeded $300 trillion. To understand how extreme this is, consider this. The entire world produces about $100 trillion of economic output each year. That means global debt is more than 3 times the world's annual income. The United States is the single largest debtor on Earth. But the real danger lies elsewhere. Many developing countries carry much smaller debts, yet face far greater risks. Why? Because they borrow in foreign currencies like the US dollar or the euro. When their own currency weakens, their debt instantly becomes more expensive. A loan that once seemed manageable can suddenly become impossible to repay. For these countries, debt is not just a financial issue. It is a matter of national stability. Governments borrow to fund healthcare, infrastructure, education, and social programs. They borrow to stimulate growth during recessions, and they borrow to protect citizens from economic shocks. But debt becomes dangerous when interest rates rise. For years, central banks kept interest rates near zero. Borrowing was cheap. Debt felt painless. Then inflation arrived. To fight rising prices, central banks around the world began raising interest rates aggressively. Higher interest rates mean higher debt payments. For governments already drowning in debt, this creates a deadly cycle. Borrow more to pay old debt, pay more interest, borrow again. The system survives, but only by growing larger and more fragile. Debt is not always bad for everyone. For banks, investment funds, and wealthy institutions, debt is profitable. They earn interest. They control capital. They shape financial markets. Meanwhile, ordinary people pay the cost. Through higher taxes, through inflation that erodes purchasing power, through cuts to public services. In many countries, debt quietly increases inequality. The wealthy own assets that grow with inflation. The poor and middle class struggle just to keep up. Debt transfers wealth upward, slowly and silently. History shows what happens when debt becomes unsustainable. financial crises begin. Currencies collapse. Inflation explodes. Savings are wiped out. Governments are forced to cut spending or raise taxes. And social unrest often follows. We have seen this pattern before. In Latin America, in Asia, in Europe. Debt crises rarely stay contained. They spread across borders, shaking the global economy. The world is not running out of money. Central banks can always print more. What the world is running out of is time. At some point, debts must be restructured, forgiven, or inflated away. The only real question is not if a global reset will happen, but who will pay the price when it does.